from Wall Street to Main Street to help small business owners have the same capital as corporate America and give them the same resources as a larger company. We cover business funding, business credit, scaling, business consulting, and much more. Check out the website at shieldadvisorygroup.com. Welcome to the show, The Liquid Lunch Project.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Liquid Lunch Project. I am Matthew R. Meehan, alongside my partner, the Professor Luigi Rosabianca, and he's got a little special guest in his hands. What's going on today, Lou? What do we have on tap?
Matt, I know what you and our guest had planned. You had this little conspiracy. It was going to be a double Matt attack on poor Luigi the Professor. So I had to counteract that with our first special guest, little James Rosabianca. The Liquid Lunch now has a little bit of Similac. But we digress. Back to our special guest, Matt Shoup. Matt, what you have done in the small business sphere is so impressive, and we really appreciate you coming on. You've taken your paint, construction, and roofing business to umpteenth levels. And you took those lessons and are now sharing it through your leadership programs and platforms and podcasts. So first of all, welcome to the podcast. Thank you for the opportunity. Give us the genesis story. When did you buy that first paintbrush?
Before I start, I just want to share, because I'm thinking about this, I have to get it out, but it's like Mario and Luigi right here. We've got the M and the Luigi, and I loved Mario Brother growing up. And I'm going to talk about my childhood, but I remember that. And we're like, double Mario attack on Luigi. And baby James. Hop on the head, get the coins. Get the coins. That was one of my favorite games. Like that, Mario, like, ding, ding, getting the coins. And then I loved WWF wrestling back in the day. That was my thing. So yeah, so growing up, like there's a business genesis origin story of when I was 20, and I'll share that. But going back to 10 years old, I look at my first 10 years of life. I grew up in New Jersey, northern New Jersey, so it's right across the bridge from you guys. Born in Teaneck and grew up in Upper Montclair, and went to school in Montclair. So it was just a mix of all different kinds of socioeconomic and races and just different stories, right? So very diverse. But what I remember is I got bullied quite a bit growing up. I was a very easy target. You know, if I was a bully, I would have picked me to bully. I had the whole list of everything going on. And I remember growing up being scared and not confident and just fearful of the world, always looking over my shoulder. You know, one girl in particular, she would either pull my hair, slap my face, or spit Monday through Friday, every day. And that's just what it was, every day, no fail. And I didn't receive the things I needed as anybody would need at that age. So we always look for certainty and purpose and belonging and confidence. I found that in business. So getting ass kicked on the playground, but not in business. And the reason why is because we moved to Colorado. So we left New Jersey, settled down into Loveland, Colorado, about an hour north of Denver. And this is back in the early 90s when CDs came out. So I was with my son this morning in the car, and he pulled up, he was scrolling through my music. He goes, "You have this Snoop Dogg Doggy Style album on your phone." Like, and I love Jesus. And he goes, "What is this?" He goes, "What is this?" I go, "That was one of my first CDs, man, at 10 years old." He goes, "Can I listen?" I go, "Okay, if you want to take a listen." But I wanted a boombox because cassettes were going out, compact discs were coming in, the big, 812D battery, carry it on the shoulder, and everybody had one. And parents were buying them for the kids. I asked my parents to buy me one. They said, "No, go figure out a way to make your own money. Go figure it out." And it's interesting, like when if you have kids, we talked about your daughter offline, you got baby James, just say, hey, when they come to you, go figure it out, see what they do. I took their lawnmower, knocked on doors up and down the street. And I think I needed $200. I think I made $2,000 when I was 10 over a summer, mowing lawns. That turned into snow shoveling and then peddling candy at school. But I had this confidence, like you could kick my ass on the playground, but not here. Like there ain't no other kid 10 years old, $2,000 in a tackle box in his closet, fishing tackle box, right? I had like a little cash drawer, and that was just my passion: marketing, sales, people, gift to gab, loved telling stories, and worked hourly jobs into college. Always went up to the leadership position in those jobs, and then college painting company comes along. I'm 20 years old, 18, Colorado State University in 1999. Monday morning biology class. I barely made it because I was hungover from all the drugs and drinking I was doing every weekend. Another story later. And the guy goes, hey, you want to come make some good money this summer using another company's money? And we're going to teach you our system and process to market and sell. And he goes, oh, by the way, I made 25 grand last summer. So I'm ding, ding, Mario coins, ding, ding, right? Like that was my thing. I signed the paper, and I'm working with a college painting company 4 years from 99 to 03 at Colorado State. Bumped out for a semester to go to Spain, fell in love with Spain, came back, was going to go back to Spain. I met my now wife in the basement of a bar, salsa night. And we decided to get married, and then I stayed here and got into corporate mortgage banking because it looked sexy. It looked like a lot of money, suit and tie, looking good, liquid lunch, doing the thing, schmoozing realtors, making millions of dollars. And that's what I wanted to do. So March of 2005, the only time I've worked a day in my life that I really consider it work because I didn't love it and I wanted out of it was when I was working at this bank, just absolutely hating life. So I'm 6 figures in debt because I made $100K painting houses in college, but I spent that much more than I made. So I graduated with 2 shiny degrees. I don't know where they are, but I'm not using them. Lots of debt, no financial blueprint. Don't know how to be a man. I'm a mess. Found Jesus in the back of a police car a couple years prior, and I'm figuring all that out. So I've overcome a lot, but I still have a lot to prove. And a bank president calls me into his office on a Tuesday morning, March 2005. And it's the new guy, it's the new president. He doesn't say, hey, Matt, nice to meet you. What are your plans? What are your visions? What are your goals? How's it going? He says, get all your shit, put it in a box, get out. I'm like, huh? Cinches up the tie. And then he says this, which sorry you said this, bud. But he goes, maybe you should go back and do that painting thing like that. Like you dirty little painter. I go, okay, well, I'll see you. I'll see you with $1 million. And I did like 2-3 years later. And that was kind of my goal. Like I'm going to come back and show him. So I got thrown out of a bank. I'm standing in a parking lot, $100 left to spare to do anything with. 6 figures in debt, recently married, upside down leveraged house, right? They paid me to buy a house back then, the bank, and brand new car, right? Brand new shiny car, and had to figure something out. I had 12 minutes to drive home, and I needed an answer to tell my wife because I knew that she was going to ask. She's going to tell me she loves me and she's got my back, and then say, what are you going to do? How are you going to figure it out? And that's the founding moment of M&E Painting.
So I love that Genesis story, and thank you for sharing and being vulnerable here, because we're never vulnerable. But that's your personal success story. To be able to scale your business to the level that you achieved, you need to cooperate with a whole lot of colleagues and workers and employees and staff. Like you've got to be people person cubed. Like how did you get to that level? Because there's this weakness in your business. Someone has to be holding the paintbrush. So if you're going to make a lot of money, you need 100 people holding 100 paintbrushes. How did you scale? Because I got to tell you, that's the one thing a lot of other contractors listening right now want to know. Yeah.
It's funny because you say, oh, you have to be like this agreeable business person. I was a dick to work for the first 10, it was my 20s to 30. So 0 to 10, bad foundation, bad soil, have no idea what's going on. 10 to 20, I'm figuring it out on my own, right? 20 to 30, I'm going to become a millionaire and I'm going to prove all you guys wrong. And my computer is telling me I need to plug in my battery. So give me a second.
Let's do that. As I'm sitting here,
this is the truth of what's happening right now, and I don't want to lose you guys. So
no worries. As I'm sitting here listening to your story, I'm having flashbacks because my story is like very similar. Selling candy, doing odd jobs, mowing lawns, picking up cans out of the recycling to go bring back for 5 cents and figuring it out.
Yeah.
Getting into martial arts. I barely graduated high school, right? Didn't know what I was going to do. So I was working at a diner as a waiter. And then all my friends came home from college and they brought this kid home that I didn't know. And they're like, hey, Matt, we'll see. You're going to be here next time we come down. And the kid goes, where's he going? And that pissed me off. And the next day I grabbed the newspaper and then just jumped on the Staten Island ferry with a roll of quarters and started cold calling and landed a job on Wall Street. So definitely very similar to the story that you have. It's a little freaky, to be honest. All right. So you started the company, right? Was it just you in a truck? Did you hire a team off the bat? How did you go out and get jobs? Were you knocking on doors again? What happened?
Yeah. So it's really interesting. So I tell brand new business owners this. I feel like there's 3 phases of business, right? You whether you were an employee, now you're going to become an entrepreneur, self-employed. There's a difference between self-employed and business owner, but a lot of people start off doing everything. That grow phase, which is where you're doing everything, the marketing, the sales, the delivery, it's ACDC, attract, convert, deliver, collect. So Mike Michalowicz shares that in his book, Clockwork. It's all about business systems, but we're doing all of that. Where we get tied up and where I got real laser focused is in marketing. Find that one thing that gets you business. Test till you find out what the best thing is, and then go all in on that for your marketing. So for me, knocking on doors. If I knocked for an hour at the right time, I would get 2 to 3 painting estimates scheduled. So for every hour I knocked, I'd close a job. Every hour I knocked, $3,300 in revenue. Hour of knocking, say it's 1 for 3. I get 3 estimates. I go 1 for 3 on my sale. I convert 1 out of those 3. Those 3 estimates take me 6 hours of work, 1 hour of knocking. That's 7 hours of my calendar to get $3,500 a top line, which we ran at 30%. So that's $1,000. $1,000 divided by 7 hours. Now I know my hourly worth. And I think business, we get too confused and too break down, whoever's listening to this, whatever your business is, how much time to make the money and what are you doing and what is your time worth? And then from there, just keep doing more of that until you run out of time. And if you're doing it well, you'll run out of time before you run out of money, assuming you're profitable. Then you start bringing people in to help take over some of that lower level stuff. So I did one thing with marketing. I knocked on doors. When I was at the paint store, by accident, I would be looking for a paintbrush, and it was Home Depot was closer than Sherwin-Williams. I'm in Home Depot, and there's a sweet little old lady. She has no idea what she's doing. She's about to buy flat finish paint for a door, which you don't do. You want something cleanable. Hey, you want to do this. So I just by accident helped her out. She goes, "Oh, do you work here at Home Depot?" I'm like, "Nope, I'm M&E Painting." She goes, "Well, I don't want to paint these doors. Can you come out?" So light bulb. I'm already at Home Depot because I have to go there. So how do you stack? There's 2 different things in your business. I need to go to the paint store to get paint. So why don't I do some marketing while I'm there? And I'd go to get my paint. I get a hot dog and a soda, and I just walk up and down the aisle when I had free time. This is not during ideal cold calling or estimating times, and not when the painters needed me. And that was number 2. But door knocking was number 1, and then I had my backup. And then you just test and check, and you replace the top thing, and you kick out the bottom thing as you grow.
You're in residential. Did you look to the commercial side of painting?
Yeah. So, commercial's nice. I mean, 2 kinds of commercial. So you've got res repaint, which is a homeowner, they're already in the home and they're repainting it because it was done poorly, typically by new construction.
Yep. I just had to have my house done.
Oh yeah. We like things that pay well and pay on time. So residential repaint paid well, paid on time. We got into new construction. Residential doesn't pay well, doesn't pay on time. Neither does commercial. So the commercial we got into was I paint for Bob and Sally homeowner. Bob's a dentist. He owns a dental practice. He wants, on the weekend when they're closed for us to come do that. So we started doing that. Now we're in the bigger commercial, the multifamily. We're doing roofing now. So that's scaled. We're basically, residential and commercial space that pays well and pays on time.
Let's dive in there for a second, right? If you're dealing with the residential space, in that space for a while, you're used to your homeowners usually paying you on time. Now you dive into commercial, and now you're on terms, right? 30, 60, 90 days. We've had some clients that can't get paid from some of the GCs that use the subs. So How did you make that transition? How did you deal with those cash flow changes? Don't
work as a sub for the GCs that don't pay you well or pay you on time. So the commercial we did, it's when you, gosh, how do I put this? We landed this million, roofing. We had a hailstorm. We got $5 million worth of work. I just talked to Steven this morning. I said, we did, $500,000 off a little storm last year. How much of it are we still collecting a year later? He's like, we're still waiting for 50 grand. I'm like, we're still waiting for 10% of our money a year later. That's stupid. Why do they get to decide when they pay us? You're the business owner. You decide what the terms are. And if that person can't meet your terms or they don't meet your terms, you decide if you want to change them or not, versus so many contractors don't realize like you can negotiate those terms. You can come in and say, here's how I do it. How do you do it? How can we do it together? Versus, they just pay 120 out. 120 out on anything is ridiculous. Like I just sold, I sold 1,000 painted babies on launch day, my new book. On February 3rd, I sold those. I still haven't been paid. That's just how the business works.
So, well, you know who actually, it's funny that you brought up a book, right? Because one of Amazon's strengths, right? What they do is, and the way they grew so fast was the float, right?
Hold on to your money.
All this cash in, and they didn't have to pay it out for 30 to 45 days. So what they did was, and the way they grew so fast was when they took that money back in, they just put it back into the machine, right? And then paid it out when they had to, you know?
And they know what that machine's producing. So like in any business, right? I went from being $100 to my name to having $20,000 in the bank within 14 days. Wow. Because I spent out of that $100, like break it down. If you're a new business owner, you just got laid off, you have $100, you have a skill and a knowledge and a trade. I went to Kinko's Copies, spent $28 on some little business cards. I didn't have my website, didn't have my logo, didn't have anything fancy like we do now. It had my name, my painting company, and I don't remember if I even had the LLC yet. I gotta go check the timeline, but I knocked on doors. Here's my card. I'll be in your neighborhood. So literally Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday after I got fired, I lined up Saturday and Sunday for estimates. I had 10 estimates, went out and did those. Oh wait, now I need proposals. I need those little estimate carbon copy forms. Those were $40. So now I'm down to like $32 in my bank account. I went out that weekend and I walked out of there with $12,000 in deposit checks for $24,000 worth of work. I took half the money down. Now that's a negative account receivable, right? And that's a liability. I have to pay that back if they cancel, but I've got cash now.
Absolutely. So, we actually, we had helped one of our clients buy a HVAC company. The company that he bought, they did not have a subscription service involved. So the first thing that we did was get a salesperson, get the customer list, get on the phone, call them, sell a subscription base. Let's get some cash into this company so you don't have to worry, right? And I think they brought in a couple $100,000 just from doing that.
It's funny you talk about that because my roofing VP, Steven, he came up with this idea is, when you let your people come up with ideas, many times they'll come up with better ideas than you can as the all-knowing leader, right? He goes, hey, nobody sells roofing warranties. What does this look like? Okay, well, $1,000, you put $500 down and $49 a month, right? That's an easy commitment. And then they're protected, like you're providing value and that money's just rolling in. So we're literally talking about that right now, like an extended warranty on our services or somebody else's roof that they did.
I love that model so much because most people don't want to go out there and do the work. If you're not afraid to do the work and you have a very good sales team that can go out there, once you get to that house, you're going to find more work that needs to be done and you can upsell in that process. It happens all day long.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we do see a lot of people in the trades that don't do that. They just come in and they do their job and say, hey, but I just had a landscaper, right? He just redid my backyard. This guy's great. He goes, hey, how about if we do this? If we do this, we didn't do it all, but we probably did 6 out of the 10 things that he recommended and we just went for it. I think a lot of people just don't ask, right? They just come in, especially in the trades, because they know how to do what they do and they don't really like the sales portion of it.
There's that, and they think sales is slimy and sleazy versus all that landscaper did because he was so excited about his work that he loves. Right? I'm a tradesperson. I'm so excited. I don't want to be a salesperson. Do you love the work you did? Well, how about you say to Matt, to Mario, hey, how about we do some mulch over here? What would it look like to do a berm? This would look amazing. You're so excited about it. They go, oh yeah, this guy's right. It's not, if I could give you a berm for $1,300, would you sign right here and I'm going to handle your objection? That bullshit like 80s, 90s, always be closing. No, like I'm getting paid a lot of money to take people to Spain to give them life-changing, once-in-a-lifetime leadership experiences and show them a country that I love. And I'm gonna talk about it. And I get excited. And they say, I want to go. How much is it? Well, it's this, it's that. Which, okay, and they go.
Let's talk about that.
That's all. That's sales. That's it.
I went to Spain last year for the first time.
Yeah.
Right? No, actually, second time. I'm lying. We were in Barcelona for a while, but I ran with the Bulls in Pamplona.
You
So
ran.
really cool. Yeah, I ran.
I watched the guy run, and I was about to run, and then he wasn't running anymore. So I didn't run.
No,
My
we did.
was standing there with us and watched him get gored. And then
Oh
we
my
watched
God.
it on the national television station in Spain because I'm like, I'm going down tomorrow. Let's watch John one more time. John gets through and through in the through the quad on Spanish TV, and his wife is
When was that? When was this?
2016.
Okay.
It was the third day because we lived there for a summer. Our whole family was there. We lived in Alicante on the beach, and we did like 13,000 kilometers, 8,000 miles, just all over Spain. Just took a car, went everywhere,
That's awesome.
and went to San Fermin.
Matt, I was so conflicted when he went, so we were a little bit concerned. So we took out a life insurance policy for
Should.
Taekwondo, Matt. And then I'm watching him do it, and I got to tell you, I was a little conflicted. I'm like, do I want him to get gored? Do I not want him to get gored?
Yeah, man. What's the payday, right? What's the payday look like? You know, you'll see who your friends are when he's running in front of a bull.
Listen, I would definitely do it again. The build up, it was definitely crazy, right? I didn't realize the whole festival is like 6 or 7 days, and it's a lot of college kids that are running out from the night before. They're still drunk,
And they're pissing in the streets. Yeah, you know, it's interesting. The drinking culture there and the festival culture there are two things that are very unique. So, you know, when I was in college and I was pulling off these vendors, you'd go out at 10, 11 o'clock, do drinking, do drugs, and you're done by about 2 or 3. You pass out, you wake up at noon the next day. In Spain, like, you go out to dinner and you get some food, you get some tapas, you go have some drinks, then you have some drinks, then some more drinks in the park. And you'll literally just start drinking at like 9 o'clock before dinner, 7 o'clock before dinner, have dinner, drink till 3, 4 in the morning, and then go walk out of a club with the sun coming out and go have chocolate and churros for breakfast. Like, and that's just what they do. That's what we did. That's the culture there. Yeah. So the issues of, they're running with the bulls. So the people that come and they're prepared and they're ready. I mean, we went with a tour guide who said, when you run, it's an American guy, goes there every year.
Dennis Clancy?
I don't think it's Dennis Clancy. We went with a company out of Miami. I'm spacing the name.
Okay. Dennis Clancy he's out of Texas.
I wonder if that was.
No, we used some guy, the tour guy's name was Mark or something. He's been doing it for years, but he hires Dennis. And me and Dennis actually became friends after he was my guide. I was just with him in Dallas a couple weeks ago. Yeah, Dennis has ran like 19 times.
So you know what I wonder, because it's Running of the Bulls is the company.
That's the company we used.
Okay, so then maybe it was Dennis.
It must have been Dennis, yeah.
And what's Mark's last name? He's out of Miami. Mark, spacing it.
I don't know. I'd have to find out.
Mark Rugby. Mark Andrew Hellman.
Yeah, I believe that's it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So we were there. But anyway, this guy shows us, he goes, don't run here, run here. Here's where the drunk people are. So I'm watching, we all watched the first day. John, the guy that's in our group with his wife, older gentleman, big dude, long beard, looked like a big jacked Santa Claus, right? Everybody knew who that guy was. He goes, I'm going to go run. So he ran the second day. It was good. We were there 4 days, and I'm going to watch him run one more day. And then I told him, I'll do it if you know, it's good. We learned where to do it and how to scope it out. So yeah, I'm watching him that day when he got gored. He came running by us, and yeah, Dennis had shown us on the first day where you run, where you don't. So he literally comes running by. We're like, oh, there he goes, there's Santa. And then we go in to watch it on the TV, right? Because you only see, if you're standing on a balcony watching, you only see
it's very narrow.
And then we go onto the TV, and they're showing all the highlight reels. This guy got thrown. This guy got, and then we're like, oh, there's your husband on the ground. Like, it's an American, another American.
My kids, we brought our kids with us, and they were watching on the balcony. And we have a video where my wife is filming me from the top, and my daughter's she's 10, my other one's 8. My 10-year-old started hysterical crying. But we made it all the way to the arena. We were good. My buddy fell. We had to get him up. I was getting smacked by I forget what they call them, but to keep the people running. I was getting smacked because I was holding people back so he can get up and didn't get trampled. But it was an amazing time. From there, we went to San Sebastian. And then prior to that, we were in Marbella and oh my God, what's the capital?
Madrid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But Spain's beautiful. It's been a huge part of my life. I studied there in college, fell in love with the country and the culture and the people, and love the language. I love Seville, so I have this the Seville.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, you really love Seville. That's a big tattoo.
Yeah, so the Giralda Tower, it's basically their bell tower that's attached to the cathedral there. It was a Muslim minaret. And then when the Christians came and reconquered Spain, they built a bell tower on the top. And it's a beautiful architecture, but very, very meaningful as well. I mean, it's literally the landmark of Sevilla. Everybody goes there. So I was just at the Feria, the spring fair, with my daughter, but Seville's like just a piece of my heart is there. It's like my second home. Love going there. Yeah, and that's a beautiful place, and that's down south. So I love there.
Tell us a little bit about the leadership program that you bring to Spain with you.
So it all started as I'm the kind of guy that says, I wonder what it would look like if, let's try something. I'll try anything once, and I love doing big crazy stuff. So I travel to Spain every year with my son, with my daughter. We alternate father-son, father-daughter trips. And then I'll go with the whole family. Like we spent that whole summer in 16, 2-3 months there. And I got back one year and I didn't feel guilty. It wasn't, why do I get to go and nobody else does? But I go, I take my family. I go, how cool would it be to take our leadership team? So March of 2022, just coming out of COVID, we planned a leadership retreat and we took, I think it was 8 of us went over, and I planned this adventure, kind of the fun, sun, food, culture, cuisine. 20% of it, I said, guys, this is a trip to Spain. The other 80% is I created these very intentionally planned experiences, challenges, and adventures. So think of not like a tour with Apple Vacations where there's 30 of you with the little flag and the headphones, but like a curated event with somebody that only I have a relationship that's going to open something up to these guys and gals that came with me to Spain that nobody will ever see. Like to the fact that you're going to sign an NDA because they're opening something up so private, so unique, so authentic to Spain. So these are the kind of experiences that we did with the team and that I'm building. And then think of an amazing race challenge. So I gave the team orange envelopes. They opened them up, said, here's what you got to do. Here's some money. And then I said, see you in 3 hours. Follow the directions, go figure it out. And then I went and hung out with my buddy Angel. We had some drinks, some coffee. They all came running back and we debriefed because they're put out of their comfort zone. They're uncomfortable. They had to figure it out. I intentionally, we go have some fun and then we give them some challenge and then we debrief. And it was so cool to see how we bonded as a team, how people learned what they're really made of. Because it's easy to say, get out of your comfort zone. But like, I'm out of my comfort zone in business. Are you though, really? Because you get out of when you get out of your comfort zone and back into it, you're doing the same thing. These guys didn't speak the language. They didn't know the geography. They got lost. They were, no one's going to die. They were challenged. And I didn't realize as we were doing it, how impactful it was. I was viewing it as like, man, I'm not doing great on this leadership side. This feels more like a trip. And the whole time, because it's me being hard on myself, they're just like, they're loving it. And we got back and they said, you need to launch this. It's the ultimate immersion experience. We're going May of 2024. I have 6 spots. It's very intimate. It's only open to 6 people. And me, and then I bring another facilitator and we bring somebody to capture it, photography, videography. So there's a team of 3, 6 participants. So 9 people and, change your life. Like not in a stupid cliche way. It is a life-changing, once in a lifetime thing that is my heart, soul, and passion to share Spain, share leadership, love people, and do just crazy shit once in a lifetime.
That's what I do. Man.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Else. I'll look into it.
and for people listening that think that they're not salespeople, I am, but I'm not. This is all I do. I just share what I'm excited about. And if somebody gets excited about it, they ask me about it. And then they tell me if they're interested. So anybody that's struggling with sales, because we kind of dovetailed off of that. Yeah. If you love what you do and you're excited and people need it, you're disservicing them by not telling them about it. Like if you love what I do, Matt, and it can make your life better, that's bad that I'm not telling you.
100%. I totally agree.
That's a duty as a business owner,
So you have 6 companies now, right? We started with the painting. You went into roofing, right? They kind of go hand in hand. You have the drywall company, real estate. What else do you have going on? Tell us about it.
So M&E Painting and Roofing, they totally hand in hand. The drywall repair tool is a drywall texture repair tool that we sell on Amazon. It's a $19.99 product. It's patented. It's mailbox money.
Real estate for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we were in the big box, just not getting paid well or on time. So we said, let's just go to the platform that's going to make us the most money and get it to people as quickly as possible. That was Amazon and Walmart.com. So we have a real estate company. I'm actually a licensed real estate agent, so I help people buy and sell, as well as we just did our first flip. So I'm getting into the flipping. I really loved that. And then I invest in some real estate. My big investment is we have this building here. It's a 5,000 square foot building that has our free Spanish coffee bar, the Ji Jitsu school, which I'm part owner of back here. And we just have this space where we bring people in and love on them and care for them and make their life better. And it's all within these companies. And then mattshoup.com, that business name, it's Life on the Lake, but it's my personal brand with Gentle Art of Leadership, Spain Adventures. We throw one big annual event here in Colorado, and we don't know when the next one's going to be. It'll be probably early 2024, where we bring in amazing speakers. It's once in a lifetime. So, hey, maybe you want to go to Spain, but you don't want to fly across the ocean, but you'll fly to Denver and come up north an hour and do the same kind of thing here, just in Colorado. So that's what I do all day.
That's cool, man. So so you got all this on your plate. You're launching the Spain Adventures next, right? Underneath the Matt Shoup brand.
Yeah.
What's next? Because I feel like you can't sit still.
Personal, professional.
Looking at that.
We talked about this. So I have a friend of mine. They did really well in real estate and they retired, but they hated real estate. They just knew it was a means to make tens of millions of dollars. And now they're just sitting on an island. And that was their definition. Like that was their plan. There'll always be something next for me. And I don't know what, I mean, it'll be 10, I'm sure 10 more businesses. Like Spain's going to be a forever thing. Like we're doing the Camino in September. We're taking a group of guys on a 70-mile.
That is on my list also.
I have 3 spots for that in September. So like that. So as long as I can physically hike 70 miles over 6 days, we're going to do that every other year. So it's hike of a lifetime on the odd years, ultimate immersion on the even years. That's forever.
That's pretty cool.
We might sell the roofing. Like all the other stuff is just, it's fun. But the main purpose is I'm here to change my family tree, and I'm here because of my story. There's a lot of people I come across. I come across a lot of men, a lot of businessmen. A lot of them either happen to be Christians or they're exploring or having struggle with some kind of faith. And they don't think they can do it because they've always been told they can't do it, or they grew up in an environment where they were beat down and bullied. And I'm a walking example of, yeah, I was too. But I decided to change that. So at the end of the day, like whatever I'm doing, it always has to contribute to helping people get better, to inspiring and igniting them to understand you have one story, live it well, don't waste it. And if you don't think anybody, well, yeah, but no one believes in me. Okay, well, now you don't have that excuse because I do. So go do something about it. And then I'm creating resources, everything from free resources to come hang out in Spain for a week. And it's the idea that it's a journey. I hate all this thought leadership, these packaged clickbait bullshit programs where they're clicking you for $1.99 and then upselling you for $2.99, and they're taking your money and they're leaving. And then they're selling another course to a guy who doesn't really know what to do, saying, you can be rich too, taking this guy's money, not doing anything. And then I'm going to build a course to show you how to take this guy's money. Right?
All those crypto experts are now AI experts.
Yeah, and there's a new expert. Yeah, and it's all bullshit. Like it's all bullshit. And the click funnel guys are telling me, well, no, that's not, like, I need to create a funnel. I understand that, but the point is like life and business and leadership, it's a journey. Don't take it alone. And I just take that with people. People come alongside me that are attracted to me and what I do and my story, and I say, let's take this journey together, and it goes where it goes. And some people like that work here, they come here. Frances, she came here. She helped prepare things. She's going to go be a mom. That's amazing. I'm happy for that. Does it create some extra work in the next few weeks for me to find? Those are huge shoes to fill that she's leaving. So like business wise, like I'm a little busy with that, but I love that she's doing that. So it's this idea of this journey, and people come and go and you're contributing. It's beautiful. So what's next? I don't know. I mean, I got to get a barista at Cafe Sevilla pretty quick. Get ready for Spain in September. But I really do want to speak more to more people that need to hear my message with books and speaking and adventures, and then see where it goes.
Where can tell everybody where they can find your book and how they can get in touch with you on the socials?
Yeah. And totally. So mattshoup.com. If you go there, that'll tell you, everything we talked about. There's a set of free tools I'd recommend. That's kind of start the journey with me there. It's the funnel per se. Get into my funnel. But I'm gonna send you through like a PDF of all these links you can click of valuable resources, 2 free chapters of each book, leadership language survey, all this free stuff. And then the books, you can go to Amazon. That's all on mattshoup.com. My social buttons are all on mattshoup.com. So literally everything's there. And if you're ever in Denver and you can make it about 50 minutes north up to Loveland, Colorado, not the Loveland ski resort, but Loveland just by Fort Collins, just due north. Come to Cafe Sevilla Coffee Bar and come have a free Spanish coffee. If you want to leave a tip, that goes to the scholarship we started at CSU. We send students to Spain on scholarship. So we sent our 19th student there. And I want to keep growing that significantly. But that's how to get a hold of me, like in person or in the remote sphere, in the cloud, in the world.
or at aisle 4 at Home Depot.
It's funny, like so I say you can take the boy out of jersey, you can't take the jersey out of the boy, and that painter part of me, I can't look at a house the same. Yeah, and if there's ever somebody in a Home Depot aisle, because I never did the painting, but I'll always be like, get the eggshell, don't get the flag, get the flag.
You call that a paint job? Forget about it.
Yeah, well, and I don't know how to paint, so that's the other thing. Like I was never good at painting. I hate painting. I can't climb on a roof. I'm scared of heights. I do know Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I need to know that to instruct it. But you don't necessarily need to know all about the deliverable of the business you're in. You know about it, but not necessarily do it.
I totally agree. Matt, thank you so much for your time. We're so happy for you being here. One last question before I let you run. And you can't say Sevilla. What's your next favorite city in Spain?
I love Alicante, Playa San Juan. We had a magical summer there as a family. Most beautiful beach I've ever seen in Spain. Amazing people. But it's 6 hours from Sevilla. Yeah, I'd buy a house there in a heartbeat if it was a little bit closer to Sevilla.
Matt, thank you. Everybody, that's a wrap on the Liquid Lunch Project. We'll see you on the next episode.
Thank you for listening to the show. And make sure you subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a friend. We'll see you on the next episode of the Liquid Lunch Project.